Homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Mang Liaoming. Homage to Master Sakya Zengkong. Homage to His Holiness 16 Karmapa. And homage to Master Thubten Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of the group practice today, the yellow Jambala. Sumu, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, all disciples present here and over the internet, and our participating VIPs today are Madam to Ambassador Daniel Liao, the Taipei rep to Sweden and Norway, Dharma Sister Judy, the accountant to True Buddha Foundation, Dharma Sister Teresa, Dr. Ryan Zhuang, and the head of the Riverside Charity Society of Malaysia, Dharma Brother Liang. Good evening, everyone. How do you do? In Cantonese. Today we practice Yellow Jambala Dharma. And he is referred as Jambala in Tibetan, the yellow wealth deity. And he's actually the heavenly king of the north, a manifestation of the heavenly king of the north. And we have said before, the wealthiest one in heaven are the four heavenly kings. And in the ocean, the richest one is the dragon king. And on earth, the richest one should be Prithvi Deva. Prithvi Deva. And also the Earth Mother Goddess and all the mountain gods. They are the wealthiest on earth. And in the human realm, the wealthiest one is behind this temple. Bill Gates of Microsoft. So he's considered the wealthiest in this human world. Our Seattle temple, when we chose this site, when we were building this temple, Microsoft was not there. It was just wood. empty, uninhibited woods. As we drove by, I said, this is a very good piece of land. This is the land of the richest man on earth. As I was referring to that piece of land that is now belongs to Microsoft. This is the land that belongs to the richest man on earth. So please raise your hand if you heard this at that time. They did. And also Simu. You know, at that time, Microsoft was not there. We came here first, and they followed. So when we chose this piece of land, at that time, I thought that the Seattle temple would be catching the water from the dragon, and that's a good piece of land. There's back at the back, and then in front there's Lake Sammamish. There's the reflection like a mirror, and so dragon side here on the left and tiger side. So they're like a cushion, and then there's also like a rounded hill right here. So this is like the naturally protruding piece right here where the temple stands. And then on two sides are the 8 families. We bought this piece of land together. So the 8 families donated money to build this temple. So it was divided into 8 families and 1 temple. And this place is, the geometry is like accepting or receiving the water of the dragon. And we can see Lake Sammamish from here before those houses were built in front of us. So there was a dragon channel here. So the coming dragon, there's another coming dragon behind us, and it's a beautiful one. So as I said, that land belongs to the richest man on earth. And this temple is also a #1 head temple of True Buddha School. The only thing that's slightly different is that the dragon side of the temple is a little bit low, and the tiger side is a little bit high. And according to Taiwanese, if the tiger side is higher than the dragon side, then the wife beats on the husband. So the white tiger is slightly higher and the green dragon is slightly lower. So that's why we have several heroines like Simu. and also a few of the female masters, which was very like a pioneers, generals. So the geometry here is very good. Although the temple is small, but the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are huge, are gigantic. It has a formidable power or dignity. So when we were building this temple, we don't know where Microsoft was. We came here in 1982. In 1982, we immigrated to United States. And then in 1985, we started to build this True Buddha Seattle temple. At that time, Microsoft was not there. So we came here first, and then later they bought the piece of land. So they should have come and visit the head, because this place is the head. So in the business world, Microsoft is the head of the dragon. But here is the head of the dragon in the religious field. So, although this is a small piece of land and a small piece of geomancy, but it can deliver sentient beings from the 5 continents, from all over the world. So that's quite rare that can reach all corner of the worlds, all corner of the worlds. There are True Buddha school disciples in Russia, in Mongolia, Outer Mongolia, Inner Mongolia, Xinjiang. We have disciples there, like the famous composer and song artist Wang Luobing from Xinjiang province was also a True Buddha school disciple. So the fact that we could be so prosperous and flourishing, we also rely on the geomancy of the land. So we have the earth, and we also rely on the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and that's the heaven. So between the heaven and the earth and the human beings who put in the best effort to spread the True Buddha Dharma, so that's why we are able to reach all corners of the world. I often said in the past that True Buddha schools is a bunch of beggars, But the beggars' union is also a huge union, right? But these beggars now have a little bit of money. So we all started from being beggars or the poor, and to distribute all over the world, and to work so hard. And now we have temples and chapters and centers. They are gradually established. And our Dharma, of course, encompasses all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Herukas, Dhammapalas, Dakinis, and all heavenly beings. And the yellow Jambala is one of our yidams, or personal deities. And he also has great power. He helps us greatly. So the four heavenly kings help True Buddha School greatly. To protect the True Buddha School altars. Oh, okay. Now, and also Sakyamuni Buddha was from India. And in the beginning, his teaching spread to the Southeast Asia, and that was the Hinayana Buddhism. And then to China, and that was Mahayana Buddhism. And in Tibet, in the Tibetan areas, and that's the Tantrayana or Vajrayana Buddhism. And from China, it spread to Korea, Japan, and now it spread to the West, the Western countries. So the Buddha Dharma propagation has to rely on the help of the wealth deities in order to reach all over the world. And True Buddha School also has many devas or heavenly gods to help. Like the one who invited Sakyamuni Buddha to stay in samsara to turn the Dharma wheel, to give Dharma teaching, and that was Brahma, the Maha-Brahma. And also the Trayastrimsa, the 33 heaven, or Indra, and the one with the highest position should be Vishnu, and also Shiva, the Mahaswara, Shiva, Vishnu, and Brahma. And we also have wealth deities here, Ganesh, the red Jambala. And at home, Grandmaster has the wife of Shiva, Kali, and also Saraswati. At Tantric Quarter, I have Saraswati and Mahasri. They are all helping True Buddha School to spread all over the world. So we are very grateful to all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Herukas, Dhamma protectors, Dakinis, and all heavenly beings for their protection and support to True Buddha School so that we can flourish. And we are also very grateful to all the wealth deities, the yellow Jambala, the red Jambala, the black Jambala, the white Jambala, and the green Jambala, to help the true Buddha disciples. And to prosper. So today we will continue to talk about Lamdre. So we have finished talking about descent. Now we will be talking about holding. The broad explanation for it is the completely pure physical or wisdom consort sits at the comfortable distance and learn to visualize sex, to let the light drops descend due to the burning fire of mundane desire. What is the completely pure physical or wisdom consort? Generally speaking, a yogi, a tantrika, a secret practitioner relies on the completely pure physical consort or wisdom consort. So what is the physical body? Everyone seated here is called a physical body. So anyone with the real physical body. Actually, it refers to the physical consort. Completely pure physical. Of physics. So the consort has to be completely pure. The physical consort, according to Master Chen Jianming, has no expectation or request when she comes. Then she's not asking for anything, and there's no string attached as she leaves. So when the physical consort leaves the yogi or a tantrika, a practitioner who practices highest yoga tantra, she has no strings attached. So she has no requests when she comes and no strings attached when she leaves. So that's one of the purity. So she has no requests when she comes, and she doesn't leave with strings attached. So that's the completely pure physical consort. And what is a wisdom consort? Last week at the Rainbow Temple, I performed Dorje Patmo, Vajravarahi. At that time, Vajravarahi descended from the sky, and Grandmaster formed the mudra of Vajravarahi. This is the one. And she descended from the sky into the space. So Grandmaster and she made a pair, face to face. So this Vajravarahi was wisdom consort. So what is wisdom consort? is the consort who descends from the sky. That's called the wisdom consort. Like Kali, she is the consort of Shiva. Very simple. That's Buddha Mother. So consort we can use different word, a more superlative word to describe consort is Buddha Mother. Like Mahasri is a Buddha Mother. Saraswati is together with Yamantaka. Saraswati, the goddess of the marvelous sound. And the one together with Hevajra is Nairatma, or the Buddha Mother with no ego. The one who is together with Vairocana Buddha is the Mahaswara Buddha Mother, or the Buddha Mother with great self-mastery. Nairatma, the Buddha Mother with no ego. Mahasri, Saraswati, and Mahasri. They are all Buddha Mothers. And the one who's together with Chakrasambhara is Doche Pamu, Vajravarahi. All these Buddha Mothers are in the sky. A real sadhaka can invoke the Buddha Mother from the sky to perform the dual execution, to perform the consort practice, and that is also considered the highest yoga tantra. So she's the completely pure Buddha Mother from the sky. And the physical consort is one that is fully qualified with the consort's qualifications. Something very special. Like the way she walks, it's in circles. That's the lotus steps. That's also a special characteristic. For example, the white tiger. And the translator, what is the white tiger? May think. White tiger. The translator translated into white tiger. She didn't know what it meant, but I had explained it. Actually, I know. So white tiger is also a special characteristic of a consort. And a fragrance smell on her body, and she doesn't sweat. She doesn't sweat the foul odor. Like Simu never sweats. And Simu is also a white tiger. So I made her secret public. And most people, when they encounter a white tiger, they would cry out and say that the husband must die. And there was also the legend in Malaysia too, right? Yang. So that's also the folklore in Malaysia. So when a man encounters a white tiger, he will be beaten to death, will be killed. Killed would be faster. SARS, it's very rare and few to encounter a white tiger. But that's also a characteristic of a consort. And a line between two brows and 3 vertical lines above the navel. And the face is very attractive, very beautiful. The face is quite seductive. So as soon as I see, I can tell the characteristic of a consort. Don't think that it is easy to be a consort. Or there are 2 center teeth that are slightly bigger. Those are also characteristic of a consort. Or lips that are somewhat protruding upward. And then the youthfulness. So that's the special characteristic of consorts. But generally, they are hard to find. Like when her nose is like this, like the pig's nose. Or the eyebrows are drooping down, like the white impermanence, like a folklore character. Or like a mouth that is so wide, like reaching the ears. That's also not consort. Like a beautiful curved eyebrows are very nice. But if an upside down eyebrows, that looks very fierce. That's not. Of course, that's not. Like the picture of a pig on our lunar calendar booklet. That's not. And their physical posture, the figure is different. The waist is always very slim. That's called the waist of a bee. The waist of a bee is very slim, very small. But the bottom is very round. But the waist is very slim. Those are the special characteristic of a consort, of a physical consort, or a wisdom consort. Like what I just said, you need to be able to observe. To let the light drops descend to the burning desire of mundane desire. We are all mundane beings here. So what is the fire of desire or passion? So both man and woman, men also have the fire of desire, and the same for women. So that's the fire of desire. So the fire of desire can merge with the inner fire and to let it burn all over the body. Then the light drops will drip or will descend. Here is the body chakra, the bodhicitta moon water. It would descend, but not necessarily from there. Why? Because the inner fire has not risen to burn these light drops. So even if the fire of desire is at the secret chakra, there would also be secretion, there will be light drops generated. Because as soon as your desire is ignited, then the secretion will be produced. It's very simple. If you see some sour plum, then you would start to salivate. Our elder monk is Master Changren. Tonight we have an elder, a senior here, and also Master Chang Tze is also considered a senior. Now he is teaching in Taiwan. So Master Chang Tze, whenever he sees durian, like the good durian of Malaysia, I could hear his saliva standing next to him. So whenever he sees durian, he starts salivating. So the light drops descend due to the burning fire of desire. So when the fire of desire and inner fire blazes, then your light drops, your liquid secretion will descend. So if you see something you love to eat, like plums, that's kind of sour, then you start to salivate. Or if you see something you love to eat, then you start salivating. You know, like our senior Master Chang Tze, whenever he hears just the word of durian, he would start salivating. And especially if you say it's the Mao San Wang, it's a type of durian, then he would be really pleased. You know, when he wants to eat, then he would give one to Simu, and then he would start eating it. And the same with Simu. She would salivate whenever she hears durian. She loves durian, and she can eat whole meals of durian. We went to Malaysia to a place called Ipoh, and there was a box of durian, and she didn't eat anything else, just ate the durian. Hey, now I am salivating too. So the light drops descend due to the burning fire of mundane desire. And the light drops inside the minuscule channels waver. So the light drops can waver, tremble. So inside all the channels, the light drops will tremble. And there would be channels on the secret chakra, navel, the heart, the throat chakra, the brow chakra. And there are many more channels all over the body. And we also call them the capillaries. And they all would tremble. You know, when the fire of desire blazes all over the body, your whole body will tremble. So for both man and woman, that you would start to shake and vibrate. When the light drops descend, your whole body would vibrate and tremble. And the bliss will be generated, light drops will be generated. Inner fire and the fire of desire will also be generated. So that's the desire of human being. Everything will tremble. During the bliss practice, it doesn't leak, but for mundane beings, they would definitely leak. So when light drops generated, then it would be emitted. There would be emission. However, for a yogi or a cultivator of the highest yoga tantra, he cannot emit anything. But for the woman, the consort, it's okay to leak, but not for the man. So the man cannot have any emission, and that's rare. So that's why you should practice the non-leaking practice first. Once you have practiced the non-leaking, then you don't leak any light drops. If there is no emission of the light drops, then you can maintain your radiance all over the body, and your skin will be smoother and finer than most ordinary people. That's for sure, definitely. The skin will not age. Like now, Grandmaster is already 74. Okay, let's check my skin. But I'm wrapped all over. But the skin on my face, due to the sun and wind for 74 years, and I never use any lotion or moisturizers. And Simu often reminded me, in Seattle it's rather dry, you should put on a little bit of lotion, but I never did. So the skin on my face is rather coarse. And I never put on some exfoliator or mask. But the skin underneath is very smooth and fine. See? Look at my arm. Right? It's fair and soft and bright and smooth. You pao pao. It's so white and like kind of oily, you know, very moist. And it's the same all over my body because the sun doesn't touch it, so they're all fair and very fine. It doesn't age. Very delicate. When I was in the swimming pool, someone asked me, how old are you? 70. Wow, how come? Your skin is still very, very delicate and very fine. That's not the skin of a 70-year-old. So by practicing the bliss, so in the highest Yoga Tantra, it will generate a kind of bliss. So the bliss is generated when the light drops generates, and that's a rather short bliss. But the bliss, when you are non-leaking, when the light drops is not emitted and it's not moving, then that would be called the great bliss. The great bliss. But the bliss that's emitted, that's a small kind of bliss, and that would be suffering and not bliss, not happiness. It is to be maintained at the rim of the opening. In order to maintain these light drops, in your mind, you need to remember that you need to retain the light drops and not to let it leak. So what is the border of the opening? Because when you are blissful, all the skin pores would open all over the body. So at the limit of this opening, just before the great bliss, you need to hold it so that it doesn't leak. And both hands form the Vajra fist posture, cross at the chest. So this is the Sakya 6 movements. So the palms, what is the Vajra fist? It's like this, forming the fist with the thumbs inside. So you hold the thumbs. This is a kind of posture. This is called the fist scepter. And then you put it cross in front of your chest. And tuck in the belly, as I said before. So you lift up your anus. Lift up your anus. Tuck in your abdomen and to press it against the spine or the back. The eyes roll upward. Only Grandmaster is able to do this. The sun and the moon looking to the heaven. So 2 eyeballs looking up. This is a method to live. So it's written here, the eyes roll upward and hold the secret. So you hold the secret area. And at this time, you don't perform the dual execution. You stop. Because when the light drops is about to be emitted, you need to hold it so that it doesn't leak. And then at that time, you need to stop the dual execution. If you continue, then it would flow out, would leak. So if you don't move or you don't, then it will not leak. So you need to do these few movements. You need to train and to perform it often or frequently. the Sakya 6 movements, sun and moon looking up, the tip of the tongue touching the upper palate, tuck in the chin, push in your abdomen to touch the back, lift up the anus, and form the Vajra fist and cross at the chest. So you need to do all these movements. And once you master them, you can do them simultaneously. And then the man can hold it. So to hold the secret. And stop performing the dual execution. If one is learning the sound, then say all kinds of desirous words. Desirous words. So what is the desirous words? So when you're in dual execution, you would say all those passionate words for both the man and the woman. What is it? The desirous words. Like when a couple is doing this, they would say all this desirous words. So you need to practice and that's probably all for today. Let me share a joke. A dialogue between a psychiatrist and the patient. The patient asks the doctor, how come the frog can fly? But frogs don't fly. But why does the frog fly? And the doctor smiled and he doesn't know. Why? And the patient said, because the frog ate the magical pill. And the doctor was curious, well, what is the magical pill? And the patient asked again, why can the snake fly? And so the doctor said, because the snake has eaten the magical pill. And the patient said, wrong, because the snake ate the frog. So that's why the snake could fly, because the frog could fly. And the doctor didn't say anything, and the patient asked again, how come the eagle? How could the eagle fly? And the doctor replied, oh, because the eagle ate the snake. And the patient laughed really hard and said, are you crazy? Because eagle can fly. Eagles can fly. And the psychiatrist said, okay, that's it for now. I want to lie down. So today, Grandmaster is talking about the highest yoga tantra, and there's an infrastructure. It's not to be said haphazardly. So in Tantrayana, there's the highest yoga tantra, that is to change the mundane desire of human beings into spiritual cultivation. So I asked Sakyamuni Buddha, but isn't that like obscenity, like an obscenity? And the Buddha said, and then but I said, isn't the Buddha violate the precepts? No, because the obscenity is when the normal, the mundane beings are leaking. But the non-leaking practitioners is pure, because everybody in the samsara perform sex. Where do we come from? All sentient beings come from sex. We don't come from the clouds. It comes from sex. All sentient beings come from sex. If we come from the state of obscenity into pure spiritual cultivation, then it becomes pure because it has a certain structure. It would make your channels to be open and flowing smoothly, to eradicate your sicknesses and to eradicate your afflictions and disturbing emotions, and also to eliminate your doubts, and you would experience better sensation, and moreover, you may be able to see light, and you also transform your body into rainbow light. And that's attainments in the spiritual cultivation. And that's the pure Dharma. So what is done by mundane beings, that's obscenity. But what is done by the sages is pure and pure clear light radiance. So that's the only difference. Dad, Xiaoming asked his dad, as a dad, do you know more than the son? And Dad replied, of course. And then Xiaoming asked, who invented light bulbs? And the dad answered, Edison. And Xiaoming asked again, if dads know more, then why didn't Edison's dad invented light bulbs? And the dad replied, because at that time there were no light bulbs, it was all dark. And Edison's dad was busy giving birth to Edison. So this is a joke related to that. Someone said, why around the airport there are many births near the airport? Because planes take off early in the morning, and then the inhabitants around the airport wake up early in the morning, but it's still dark, so you know what they do? That's why they give their children a many. That's a joke. A small girl said, at the kindergarten there's a small boy who always tease and bully her every day. And her mom asked, can you handle him? And this small girl was crunching her teeth and said, I decided to marry him when I grow up. And then I will not give him any pocket money. When I am mad, I would let him clean the toilets. And if I am upset, I would shop for clothes. I would use the same ways to handle the same ways as yours handling Dad. It's not so funny. Nobody laughed. Someone asked me, who gave me the best birthday gift? I said, Mom. Because my mom gave me a gift of life that I'm still using. This is a very good reason. So in talking about Buddha Dharma, we have to be reasonable. Why in Tantrayana we have highest yoga tantra? And why in highest yoga tantra we have physical as well as wisdom consorts? Like for Guru Tsongkhapa, he had no wisdom consort and no physical consort. He cultivated on his own and was able to as well. But he had to rely on an external power to guide you. Like when we are in spiritual union with Yidam, at the moment of death, the Yidam would appear and you merge with the Yidam, and the Yidam would bring you to the Buddha land. So that means you are already in spiritual union with the Yidam. So you need the third party to guide you. However, if you want to attain Buddhahood in this body, then you have to learn from Guru Padmasambhava and Guru Padmasambhava's Dharma, so that you can generate clear light lucidity. And once you are able to emit light, you can merge into the light of the sky, and then you can attain Buddhahood directly. One is directly and one is indirectly. And they each has their own concepts. And I have talked about it very clearly. However, not all sentient beings approve of this Dharma. People would say that this kind of Dharma is dirty. If you keep saying it's dirty, you are dirty too, and you came from dirty too. Where did you come from? Of course, you came from the dirtiness of father, your dad and mom, your mom and dad. And then you also dirty too, unless you're single like Guru Tsongkhapa. And you're a pure spiritual cultivator and in union with the Yidam and being absorbed by the third party or the deity. But not all single men are pure. There are many single men who are horny, who are like pigs, or the women who are like pigs too. So if you say that it's dirty, but that means you are dirty too. So why don't you practice non-leaking? Once you have children already, you can start training in the non-leaking Dharma. Once you're already non-leaking, then you can perform the consort practice with your own wife. And the two of you can generate or radiate light, clear light. So where does the bliss come from? From emptiness, from empty nature. So you say it's so nice, so happy. So where is that happiness? That is empty nature. It's a kind of sensation. It wasn't there. But why? By frictions or rubbing, then it would be there. Where did the fire come from? When you rub two woods together, where did the fire come from? Where did the bliss come from? So if you can attain bliss and attain empty nature, and then from empty nature you generate clear light radiance, and from bliss you can generate clear light radiance in the universe. In the heavenly realm of desire, that's bliss. In the heavenly realm of form, that's clear light radiance. And then higher, the heavenly realm of no form, that's empty nature or emptiness. So this is my personal experience. A true Buddha would have bliss, clear light radiance, and emptiness. So that's the levels of spiritual cultivation. The lowest state is bliss, and the middle one is clear light radiance, and the highest one is emptiness. So if you read the book of the great realm of the Buddha King, it talks about bliss, clear light, and emptiness. There's no bathroom in the restaurant, and any customers who like to use the bathroom, the shopkeeper would tell them to go across the street. And then someone ran over to the toilets and tell the manager there that they come to eat. So something wrong is here. So you eat when you eat, and that place is for that. So bliss belongs to bliss, clear light belongs to clear light, emptiness belongs to emptiness. And then when the three merge, then that's the Buddha, that's Buddhahood. Okay, let me tell you a true story about the world today. At the bus, there was a man and woman about 10 years old talking. The boy said to the girl next to him, "Everything can be predicted. At least I know that my children would have what family name." That's what the boy said. Like if I were a boy, of course, when I get married, I'd have children. My children would have the family name Lu, right? But for girls, it's different. You don't even know what your children what family name would your children have in the future? And little did we know, the little girl replied, really? I know that my children are definitely mine, but your children are not necessarily yours. That's really scary. That's reality nowadays. So why don't you check the DNA of your children? And you never know. So look at that girl. She's quite wise. Here, between heaven and earth, between man and woman, yin and yang, is all about this. All human lives are about this. So don't be so snuck up. So you need to have spiritual union with the Yidam. That's most important. Then you're guaranteed to be born in the Pure Land. If you are not in any yogic union or spiritual union with the Yidam, there's no need to say more. Don't even talk about highest yoga tantra. But once you're in spiritual union with the Yidam, then you have guarantee. And through highest yoga tantra, you would be able to see light, you would be able to emit light from your body. This is extremely important. That's all for today. Om Mani Padme Hum.